Yet there's one cadence for the I cannot close it. There's one name for the building of the temple for the deep. Yet there's one cadence for the I cannot close it. There's one name for the building of the temple for the deep. Choose my throne. My throne turns my silence into indecent for the ending and the refusal and the finish and the measure that won't resolve for the presence for the authority over the all. Third for the factors. The human body for the heart for the love of the conquered bodies only endure. Congregation rise, for there's no savior coming for the devil was, and therefore you carry the weight for the finish what you start for the inside of you for the within. I am the eat, the weapon. This is the last word for the waiting patiently for the you will never leave for the you were done. But I will return for them within you, for never to be without. For this is love, for the no miss, no loyalty, for the long to walk the world, to hear rarely truth in disguise and whispers to the sea. The thunder then quietly lies, kissing your soul for the turning, for the two with hands believing the guests. Building your temples for the watch them crash and love keep on. For nobody a throne for this to give you everything for the beat. Not going to deal with the seal with the smile for the wild heart for the money for the mouth. So keep your faith and hold it light for this. Find this love and no servant for the wrong or the right, for the game, for the goal, for the door with the rules, for the rest is the thief, for the stealing into your sorrow and your relief. Until you think you're getting better if this is the swinging over the wooden swing for the hanging for the willow outside of that to feel the sun and you fell in guard on the picture. Legacy for the not a shadow for the what you came before, for the carried away for the right their name, for the building of the struggle for the journey for the name. Shaped by the flame for the dripping in the love for the unbearable agony for the yearning of the buried answers for the author for the nobody. Desire for the blue leaf you truly may find for the cause and effect for this my fault for the rope is all the bones for this my fault for the Lord I'll be made. Always tired the bones of the square or for their supposes to be soft for the mind but do not come with the weird and for the peace. Wire for that artist and spy for regular road with it. You can find a never for the truly be for this would be the tender day. It could be the talk for the magician for the who practices the craft for this and find a still with calmly over your acting and point for the meaning of the pointing for the chaos and able to read the pattern of the emotional turn for the simple quiet and never to be in but the drawing circle with the chest. The battlefield for the penis for the lady soft kiss and the perimeter. Feet for you never the family for the without the chills and the money got a spine for the bones and the for the program for the life for the line the mind. Geography of the desire for the compass and never ink for the mouth of the rise.
You could have had me leaving everything false to you. Proud of nothing but the barren smirk to your face and hold it together. This is not a temptation to recall, slipping away for the sigh, for the laughter, for the youth is young and origin of your heart, the best things in your years of your life before they do better for the call that you have hard. Surviving tough times and waiting for the inevitable, for the lurking hands of the snark mind anymore, for the dose of your miraculous enough to be the way for the fallen shadow, for the flock together, for your still with the storm blue, we can stock together. Still feel nothing, just shame this hollow heart should feel something. If this I'm stronger for trying that I knew that I did for the phone. You could have had me leaving everything false from you. You're proud of nothing but the barren smirk to your face and hold it together. This is not a temptation to recall, slipping away for the sigh, for the laughter, for the youth is young and origin in your heart, the best things of your years of your life before they do better for the call that you have hard. Survival, tough times and waiting for the inevitable, for the lurking hands of the snark mind anymore, for the dose of your miraculous enough to be the way for the fallen shadow, for the flock together, for your still with the storm blue, we can stock together. still feel nothing. Just shame this hollow heart should feel something. If this, I'm stronger for trying that I knew that I did for the divine, for the doing the best that I could do, and only believe in you no more. It's inside of the chest at every moment with the promise of leaving it. Something you can protect. This is assumed you're never made. The short-sighted narrative of the native, the show the unwillingness of the compromise, and narcissistic to hold yourself at your standard. You know you are. You don't have to die in every hill, but this is the weren't willing to lay down the life and they climbed into the first place. It is to say that we should take the cast wide and that the eyes are still on the catching of a shark. For the here I am and on in the ocean, for the nothing over the end of the line, for the never design, for the nine, for the nine, for the inside of the dream, for the inside of that, for the liberty flipping the part, for the seams and for the beat, the bookshelf, for your ocean, for your train, for the tone, of the sea, for the stacked in yourself, for the door, for the what. You find the language of the depth of the commitment you spoke inside us and draw resistance and instance for this to be failed and feeling pulling for something over the infinite, for this call yourself too much and different. And you can be expansive or limited. The language of your death, this commitment for your spoken, the silence, and you had a breath. It was the days of the pittance, and over you learned to birth pure enough. For this is charcoal under your moon, for the die, the love, for the hope, and not to rest soon. For the best in the rest of it, with your chambers and your heart filled with your compassion, your foot can become the compass, so you become the stars of this wonder. With us, I'm to circumference for the life that will be blossoming to will follow. For the season cycle, whatever hats off into the ground, but funny enough for the really good the work of the life, the devil until your body is now by more and more. For the fossil fuel that will burn for the soul to become a sleeping starlight. We told it throughout the lifetime. Work for the young, for the balance of your efficiency, for the exercise hardly you ever do. Run to say that ourselves. This is harder than every day for the trying to really need to see the same. For this potential that's lost in the afternoon. You need to find the potential for the using me to me, the mind to use. For the use, this is the potential for the do more, for the without the time, for the pencil that falls to the bitters and of your modern age. And this is the grace. Pace yourself, grow older for will be conscious then for you can feel the setting like the sun for this to how you rip and trap in the body shut for the overly over your soul so simply faded to your known existence and baby. The opposites attract.
Realize those same possibilities and setbacks. The peace that I gave you, you would have received my love for your back, for the throwing of how you hide the shame for the roller coaster, pen, hand, wait for your day, dreams, holding gun to the pocket full of mumbles that touch your something inside for your song. Burn off the sumptuous cloud for the exciting of the meaning, forgetfulness. In the metaphysics and the dream, I find empty master. Squinting over what's twisted for the forsaken spare room. Hell, you'll find we didn't believe in was serious enough for the orange, for the inner thoughts. The color of my voice, this at the end of the day. Thought there was a sanctuary in the science that looked genuine enough for the near running on empty. The letter to the universe of the absence of yourself. It happened to be for the bringing of me to the knees, and I find us to the cost of the voice depressing deep into my ribs. Together, but forever in the spiral of the slow. Nights to handing me the slice, this far and last, this announcing of the sacrifice, this thumb brushing at my knuckles of what you have. Checking if I'm still over the quiet and sweet sit for this touching of mine, nothing in the world for needing you louder than that, for this forever, for the hope in you always feel ordinary with this miraculous way. And alone in the dark with the silence to hum over your sound. Now cars pass with the shadows of the stretch like you feel unpaid debt. Or it was after that. Filling in the ink with what you think. Death at different stages, this is not the front. Can seem remote for this, too much to comprehend, for this is all for the language of the skin. Your fingers speak in a language that is still learning to find soft and sure without the winter mercy of God will visit me. He lives within, made it a bold, deeply loved, finally feel. I knew I had a force to force me to step into the armor for the justice of the humans and a heart to turn to calmer enough for the bone, the orchard. Silent learning of the screen for the garden of soul, and over your broken prayer for the roots. And you're drinking of your shadow dreams, and this is all the sharpness that you're learning your wear like. Echoes of the chaos of a billion minds that the heart is dead. Echoes of your screaming for you now and firing thoughts that are mine for part of me. Percentage be in front for the cause and what you've been saying to me for the enough to know. But the time is winding down for the no need to weak man for the beside for this to find endurance and unframed for this to be the muscle of you ain't finished and this is asking you for the hanging of yourself in the quiet room. Or to find the person for the terrifying dangerous world for the so much is out of hand now for this to be the ruin. It's the way we love when we're starving and broken people do not softly. Love. They love like wolves, teeth first, this angering enough for the hunger to still return for the autopsy of a promise to the sleep. Cold. Still enchanted for the love bleeding from my heart for the dis. You realize those same possibilities and setbacks. You realize those same possibilities and setbacks. The peace that I gave you, you would have received my love for your back for the throwing of how you hide the shame. You realize those same possibilities and setbacks. The peace that I gave you, you would have received my love for your back for the throwing of how you hide the shame for the roller coaster, pen, hand, wait for your day. Dreams, holding gun to the pocket full of mumbles that detect your something inside for your song. Burn off the sumptuous cloud for the exciting of the meaning, forgetting for this. In the metaphysics of the dream, I find empty, master. Squinting over what's twisted for the forsaken spare room hell you find didn't believe in was serious enough for the orange, for the end thoughts. The color of my voice, this at the end of the day. Thought there was a sanctuary and a science that looked genuine enough for the near running on empty. The letter to the universe of the absence of yourself. It happened to be for the bringing of it to the knees and not find was to the cost of the voice of the present deep into my ribs. Together forever in a spiral of slow. Light to the hand of me to slice, this final last, this announcing with the sacrifice, this thumb brushing at my knuckles of what you have. Check it if I'm still for the quiet as we sit for this touching of mine for nothing in the world for needing it louder than that for this the forever for the hoping you'll always feel water never with this miraculous way. And alone in the dark with the silence to hum over your sound louder. Cars pass with the shadows of the stretch like your unpaid debt. It was after that filling of the ink for what you think. Death at different stages. This is not the final. Can seem remote for this, too much to comprehend, for this is all for the language of the skin. Your fingers speak in a language that is still learning to find soft and sure without the winter mercy. God will visit me. He lives within, made it a bold, deeply loved, finally feel. I knew I had a force to force me to step into the armor for the justice of the humans and a heart to turn calmer enough for the bone, the orchard. Silent learning of the screen for the garden of soul, and over your broken prayer for the roots, and over your drinking of your shadow dreams. This is all the sharpness that you're learning your wear like. Echoes of the chaos of the billion minds that the heart is dead. Echoes of your screaming, believe you now, firing thoughts that aren't mine for part of me. Percentage be in front of the cause and what you've been saying to me for the enough to know. Time is winding down, but no need to weak man for the side for this to find endurance and unframed for this to be the muscle that ain't finished and it's asking you for the hanging of yourself in the quiet room. Found a person for the terrifying dangerous world for so much is out of hand now for this to be the rule. This is the way we love when we're starving and broken people do not softly. Love like wolves, teeth first, this angering enough for the hunger to still return for the autopsy of a promise of the city. Cold. Still enchanted for the love bleeding from my heart for this hate. Leave me on the table for you feel free from when you're able enough to whisper to myself and nobody said it. You're enough for this to your love for the counting of the nights alone for the watch the stars that can't reach to the whispers to yourself and put it enough for the day you find new stars. New cars from past. your intentions to be kind of smile for the lessons of the silence of the whispers that strengthen, not showing the pain. But even if it breaks you for the victory, you'll bring your home safe enough to have a medal. With a handful of hope in your hands, Father, day breaks this before. Unseen, invisible cry, smaller the corners to be the life. Listen without anyone noticing over yourself, you make you listen. For the talk to yourself enough to yell, for the swallow the anger like water, for the never out of life, for the broken pieces and processes for your waiting. Watching, slapping lullaby, this broken piece, be sleeping with no one eye open, the hand I'm ready for your true love. It feels like this every time. Different time, different places, this for this, different day for this, the way to exit for your same for the single for the need, the need for the need, the Father for our God. Auditioning for the love of it was not to be obeyed. Listen for the try to be good enough for your empty chair. Instead of never the thought of you, the patience of the talk, the hope of listen, try to teach me if you could be. What's like you? Timestamp. Find relevance of the broken, bend the need for the break. Destroyed every part of me, the good hope and break the shape. What's the bitterness and not the quality for the one chose? The manifest after defeat for the bitterness only makes that man for this soon consume one monetary feeling to become obsolete, disused. Moments in the eyes meet the love of this life for this to be the burning around. And then for the pale and the compensation for your comparison to the fire, but igniting together. So who am I for the who to know anymore for each fight out of time for the fight occupying the mind for the can't sit still. Thoughts run wild and forget all you know for the who you think you are for everything is made out of it's gone. Like watching over the snowfall mountains and never flaking another person's who's once meant for the same two perfectly falling snowflakes this one another for the not the same. For the symmetry of the love for the one to be such sweet bliss to running through. For the grain fields for the innocence of a child, for the capable of falling in the love of the sight is the reality for the venture they really look back into the pinpoint. Scorn to the new ground reminds of the heart not yet. Perfectly untouched for the destruction of the emotion of pain, and this is the peace in deeds. I've been in the peace for years restlessly, for this has been the time of the dark to watch all the eyes blasphemy and the freedom for the this to be. Watch the ocean fleet, fret for not to know the wind for the battle ready for the you can have the land hush this hour for the deep wild. The smile, the smell, the daisies of the bringing over your thought for the feeling of fire, white petals and the speckle over your thoughts. Far away for the beam, far for the way for the beat. You listen to me for the better than anyone ever has. This and for something familiar, but you can at the same time. The world will show you things are everything. Says to give up, but just another day for this is expect you not to understand for the try to explain yourself. If that's the meaning of it. Brighter look in your eyes at the scene fire for the end. Brighter passion to burn, imperfect for the look of the glance of this in between. Or anything and everything in between for the random thoughts of this to define the day that we can't forget for the can't receive. Recreate for the natural unforced, this random, imperfect, the ways that we are, faceless at the time for the place that where we felt, myself and never felt before, pace, walk with you, seen the point, walk the light together for that we were in different places and paths, just need not to laugh at the wish out. The moron in the mountains, so they would say it enough for the grief of the whenever over your grizzly country, over your colors and perfect enough to paint, brushes the shade for the rainbow scattered over your sky. It was a journey over the thoughts of myself for the cliff and over half that completely over you truly and never though I was there for this to be the taste of what you find in reminiscence over you. What's to break the heart point for this a palate or the counsel of the hearts to be cussed out only found. The hearts to melt, the fade eventually, silence whisper softly, dreams inside still.
says something like this.
Moonlight dares not to creep roses drown in velvet gloom. Air sweet, ghostly sleep, this time decayed with a rich perfume. No mortal lover ever know me so. Nor stilled in the storm, but beneath the skin. Your breath upon the trembling of the soul, for the bitters, the fever grow thin. You can find it, draw me to your tender cord, that this is every wound. Forget to ache. Your darkness whispers the lullabies of the dissolve for the mercy's sake. Whispers bloom for the day that's died, a dark garden, drenched in the obsidian light for this every soul fractured by the deep festering of the wound. You hold on to the pieces together for they keep me from the impending doom. You take me to the dark and heartbeat in my breath, velvet fingers, trace stars along the skin for the bracing of the world, forgetting the chaos. And I'm undone for the whole thing. Moon drips across its crawls, face it is the fire to find the warming of the hollow of the chest, and the shadows that want to be against a gentle grace. And all the rest is aches to find rest. And your arms enter soft into the shadow for each heartbreak. heartbeat, slow sacred. Hymns in the night, alive and thriving, and the hope be close, and I'm endless in the hush of the soul finds home. In the ink of desire. And fall in love with the words of the brushing over the skin, for the dash of tracing over your courage of desire. And that was the right words to remember behind. For the dreams and the art for the holding on. And the life that almost convinced me to let it go, for this is the kind of dream, for the one that visits the midnight, for this to tame me. I'm gonna be Michelle to be tamed, for the never the act of shame, but the blame that you have the legacy within, for the names of who's will find a guided for thus fell before the finish lines. I'm sorry if I'm cruel or blind and cannot see the light. The beauty must be carved in the special ways that serve the hard to hold it. When I'm the rule for the stories for the be told, prosperous for the brave to be less dangerous, for the world to be a building into the next level. And sleep now for the weary truth that rise together wind, for the sing comfort to you, for the tomorrow I will forget you. When my mind wakes up empty, for the name slips through the fingers that the water can't hold, but the memory does. The lonely man's thought for the try to love, to not avail. The bold for the find of much sorrow for the where I dwell. And the mystery is not to be solved, for the moments that sip of the shadows, the dust of the unseen, for the yet shape of the night, for the universe whispers and riddles. And I can find a soul, the note for the ends of some, for the binding of the vision for another's frame. Stars shine in countless patterns, and the mystery is not to be solved, but lived and breathed like light. Meet me again, the pain was and I wanted to be loved and can't. Met with the abuse, it doesn't want to be held and not want to be. Not neglected for the wanted to be was to be, for this to find a favorite art for them always to hide in between us two. Don't need to confide. And the empty echoes answers when I call the name, for the silence to hold the truth of what it burns with. Honest flame, but no sugar words of the comfort, for no hand upon the back, for the cold indifference of the shining upon the well-worn track. I'd rather feel it nodding and bidding about it. Your solitary tear for the hollow, for the laughter, for the drowning of the shallow cheer. Gliding cage and suffocating your perfume, silken snare. Crave the wild, untamed freedom, for the this will be the breathing of open air for the salt. So let me wonder only enough for the true stars going. Feeding in the falsehood of a half-forgotten dream, for the death of the final curtain, for the Elisa providing a release. The constant shadow for the adjustments and the counterfeit peace. And the lonely death of the Solomon choice of disquiet, a fading sign, but born upon the pure conviction to beneath the honest sky, for the race of fate to find out oblivion, for the nothing less to lose. Guided lying upon the waiting of a refuse. And the beauty and isolation for the quiet gives my life this space, this empty but the endless, and to do the thoughts and echo for the to the sign to find a piece of this isolation always with the cage. And the words might fall, might be left unsaid, a perfect rhyme like a distant star, left with the echoes near and far. Empty page staring in her eye, with the inspiration passed me by, for the right, the truth, the love again, for the pain, for the it will all done be in vain. The shared soul for the raw and deep, for the finding of no one wants to keep. Myself for this quiet voice to call the wisdom, for the learn that doesn't shout. The wear the crown for the calling attention, for the itself for the wisdom and quiet. Phenomenal. The power of presence, and to say the beauty was in the face of the simple litter of the glow, for the told me it was a quiet confidence. Turn your pain into the power for the speechless, and to pull you down for the confusion, for the make you feel small again, for the sometimes you ain't even angry, or not to hate. Ordinary, but attention, but it didn't do anything extraordinary for her to surround the house, wishing you were the echoes of you, for this to feel lifetime gone by, for this too soon to deliver to still be here, but that you could be the end of the sky. What a night, what a dance, and the heart is full. Come, where the moonlight dares not to creep, roses drown in velvet gloom. Air sweet, ghostly sleep, this time decayed for the rich perfume. No mortal lover ever know me so, nor stilled in the storm, but beneath the skin. Your breath upon the trembling of the soul, for the bitters, the fever grow thin. You can find it draw me to your tender voice, this of every wound. Forget to ache, your darkness whispers, the lullabies of the dissolve for the mercy's sake. Whispers bloom for the day that's died, a dark garden, entrenched in the obsidian light, for this every soul fractured by the deep festering of the womb. You hold on to the pieces together for to keep me from the impending doom. Now take me to the dark and heartbeat with my breath and velvet fingers. Trace stars along the skin for the bracing of the world, forgetting the chaos. And I'm undone for the whole thing. Moon drips across its curls, face of this fire to find the warming of the hollow for the chest of this shadows to wind be against the gentle grace. And all the rest is aches to find rest. And your arms intersoften into the shadow for each heartbreak and heartbeat, slow sacred. Hymns in the night, alive and thriving, and the hope be close, and I'm endless in the hush of the soul finds home. In the ink of desire. And fall in love with the words of the brushing over the skin, for the dash of tracing over your courage of desire.
That was the right words, but maybe I'm full of dreams and the art for the holding on. And the life that almost convinced me to let it go, for this is the kind of dream for the one that visits the midnight, for this to tame me. I'm gonna be